everyone! Today I thought it would be fun to discuss inspiration. As an artist, illustrator, I have many times been asked what inspires me and what I'm inspired by. And previously I've thought this question is really boring because, I get it all the time, and then it is kind of cliche because I think anything and everything can inspire you. And inspires me. So when I'm thinking and trying to answer that question, I'm just like anything and everything, but that's a really boring answer. So let's dive into the answer a little bit better. So what does inspire me? I draw very really realistic everyday items. So when I just living and doing regular things, that inspires me. I am inspired by fashion a little bit, not like high fashion, I'm a little bit over it, but everyday regular people fashion is very inspiring to me. Nature is obviously very inspiring to me. I love drawing flowers, like who doesn't, and that inspires me as well. So just taking walks and stuff like that, going on vacation, seeing different plants, looking at nature programs, or looking through books with beautiful garden photos or interior photos. That's also another thing that inspires me at the moment. I'm very inspired by interior design, and I love going to different stores to look at different details, and sometimes I can be inspired by tons of different things. I can be inspired by a particular item that I want to draw, such as like a vase or a type of flower or something, and I just have to draw it. Or I can be inspired by color. If I see a color palette online of a photo, the photo doesn't have to be anything in particular, but I see a certain color combination, like a beautiful lilac color with a dark burgundy and a mustard yellow, and I'm just like, I've never thought of that before, and that could be very inspiring, and I'll just try to think of some way I can use that color palette. And another way that I'm inspired is I see a photo, and it could be of something random, like I'm very inspired by photos of a tablescape, and I love creating patterns like that. I think I've created 2 patterns, at least one, my tea party pattern, with lots of different teacups that's like from above, bird's eye view, down onto a table with different items like cakes and cookies and teacups and things like that. So I saw a photo once of a tablescape, and that became this pattern later. There are of course times that I'm not completely inspired, and those times it's good to have some place where you've saved inspiration, and I think Pinterest is of course the go-to place for that. I have plenty of different boards that I have saved things, everything from color palettes that I find inspirational to actual, I have a folder that says draw me, with things that I've just been drawn to that I would like to draw. That could be anything from like a typewriter that looks cute that I should draw one day, or I'm thinking like, oh, I should draw something like that, because you should never draw exactly someone else's photo unless you give it credit or if it's for personal work, etc. And so I have that, and I have other things backed up, and then there's other things that you can be inspired by, such as journaling has been something that I'm inspired by, so that prompted me to draw other items such as pens and journals and stuff like that. So it's just like becomes like a rolling effect. If you're inspired by one thing, then you'll be inspired by another thing, and if you keep your creativity up, it's something that's just going to come natural to you, and you'll constantly be inspired. But there are days when you're in a rut and you feel completely uninspired, and it doesn't matter how many beautiful photos you look at, just that thought of like opening up your sketchbook to a blank white page is completely daunting. And you're just like, oh no, I can't draw anything, I suck at drawing, all that stuff. I think the best thing when you're completely uninspired is to just do something else. Or take a break from your drawing, take a break from your studio, step away from your artistic work. There's no point in forcing yourself. It's not going to be good. It's not going to turn out great. For the most part, I would think it's just going to be bad and you're going to hate it. You're just going to throw it away and you're just going to have a bad day. So I think just doing something else, that can be even being super lazy. Like, take an hour to watch your favorite TV show, or go outside on a walk, or take the whole weekend off to go to museums or window shop. I think window shopping is very inspiring to see what else is out there. Sometimes I can find it very overwhelming to go to museums or galleries with other artists' work, and I'm just thinking, whoa, they're so prolific and they have so many ideas and stuff like that, you know, get a little pinch jealous. But out in the real world, where there's regular design and things like that, it can be very inspired. Like going to an interior shop and seeing some pattern, a new pattern, and be like, whoa, that's kind of an idea that I would like to do in my own style, or something like that. I can be very inspired by movies sometimes, or TV shows that are set in different time periods. I was watching, what was that? I can't think of what the show was called now, but I'll put it here on the screen, whatever it was. And I was so inspired by that color palette because it was very dark and very spooky kind of show, and the sets were all very like late 1800s, dark and moody, like Edwardian, with all the wainscoting, and then there was this one bedroom that was like a dark teal color and had this beautiful pattern, and I just wanted to create a pattern that was kind of in that mood and style. I haven't done that, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I really want to. So I have all these ideas. I'm inspired by so many things, but time doesn't always last, or I don't have enough time, you know? So I think for me, I'm always inspired, but I don't have enough time to draw all the things that I'm inspired by, so that becomes another issue for me rather than being uninspired. But it does happen some days. I'm just like, I don't want to draw. I have nothing to draw. I hate everything that I draw. It's stupid and dumb. I also find when I do take a break from work and drawing and all that stuff, when I do come the next day, I kind of am excited to get back to that blank piece of paper, because maybe my ideas have settled and I know what I want to get done. At the moment, I'm very inspired by Instagram and all of the different typically Instagram type of photos. I think that they translate pretty good into my illustration style. I love the from where I stand kind of illustrations, where you see your toes sticking out and maybe some flowers, or a nice tile floor, or like outfit of the day photos when they're really zoomed in on a specific item, or like a portion of face or hands or something. I think that's very inspiring for me to see. I think certain color palettes that people use to show their work, and that has been very inspiring for me. So I think you can definitely see it on my Instagram feed. The images that I've been posting, it's very Instagram but illustrated. I think that's kind of the point, especially since I have been drawing other Instagrammers' photos and crediting them, of course, as a way. It's kind of, I see it as like a collaboration with me and Instagram. I think that's my short little video for you today. What inspires you? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in Internet land.